Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to.
Now you attended for your secondary education you attended the popular CKC or CKC in Onitsha. So what is your fondest memory of that great school?
Oh, so if you know anyone that went to Christ King College, is actually a very interesting school because it was actually founded on three basic principles. That's what we call bonitas, disciplina, scientia, meaning goodness, discipline, and knowledge. And being that foundation, the school was tailored along those three key areas, which is goodness, discipline, and knowledge. How do you achieve goodness? By imparting the Catholic morals on every one of us, as you're growing up, so that you be a good person to yourself, to your God, and then to your society. Then discipline is that they used sports, because in Christ King College, sports was part of our life. You wake up in the morning, you have to get into sports. Even though I wasn't involved in any of the major sports, at competitive level in Christ King College, but I think those habits of waking up to exercise and things like that is something that I took away later in life. I embraced much later in life, but I think probably it was buried in my memory. And then of course the academics, to achieve that. So having said that, it was a very lively place. It wasn't really like book. It was a place you socialize. You're allowed to speak whatever language you want to speak. You're not forced to speak English and things like that. And then you learn Latin, you learn a whole lot, and then there was a school court. There was so much, it was such a very highly, the literary community was very active in the school and everything. Okay. So Christ King College is not like a regular secondary school. So that's why if I start telling you my experience, I'll fill the day with it.
Okay. Now, one of the persons, who affected and impacted your life the most while at CKC was Reverend Father Nicholas Tagbo. So what fond memories, or what is your fondest memory of him? Because I know you have too many memories, so let's look at the fondest.
Okay, I think it remains. Okay, there's a book that I edited that is called Sons of a Priest. That book, my story is there, and it was just a very interesting story about where there was, in secondary school, there'll be a class, then there'll be a break, then there'll be another class. So there was this, the teacher that was supposed to teach us a particular subject, I think he was ill and he didn't show up. So instead of me to, before the class prefect could tell the senior tutor to bring another teacher, I'd already left the class and I went towards the toilet area. And the truth was I was chasing birds. And there was this little bird that was just flying about, following the bird. And I didn't know that the principal saw me. So when he saw me, he called me from his office, called me by my surname, and I ran from the toilet area to his office. When I got there, he dipped his hand in his soutane, was a priest, and then gave me some lashes and asked me what I was doing. Then I told him that I started telling him stories. So by the time I started telling him stories, he now picked me by the ear, took me to the to the library and pointed to the books there and told me, look, my friend, you see these books, start reading them if you don't have anything serious to do, if you don't have anything serious to read, you don't want to do your mathematics, you don't want to do your serious subjects, come and pick any of these novels and start reading. And from that day, I formed a habit. During breaks, I was always there reading. In fact, I read everything that was written there. And I think those things that I read quite early in Christ King College were brighter later. Yeah.
Now, thereafter, you proceeded to the Great University of Nigeria, Nsukka. What is your fondest memory of UNN?
Okay.
One.
My, at the university level is you're exposed to a lot of things. I was exposed to I studied political science, and I was very active in student unionism, even though I didn't hold any position, but I was always there. Worked with Obani Chima, Ezezue, and a couple of other other
Student
other
activity.
activists. And of course, I had some time with Marxism, which kind of opened my mind to critical, critical view of society, especially the dependency theory and why Africa is where it was then, which it still is today, and of course, exposed me widely to politics of international economic relations, which I still have a very, very deep interest in. However, the one that I would say that really touched me the most was the fact that it was a very lively and lovely community. And Nsukka is not like every other university in the sense that you don't go anywhere from Nsukka. You just go to Nsukka. When you enter the university, you can only come out of the university. You cannot go from the university to anywhere else. So, it made me I made a lot of friends. In fact, there's one of my friends, Oliver. He was our classmate from South Africa. Those people who came, who an ANC person, were a whole lot. And then later, when professionally I went to Cape Town to shoot a television commercial, I met him, and then I found that he was a very big man in ANC, in South Africa. So there's a whole lot, and these are memories that I actually cherish. Yeah,
Okay. Now, I want to find out from you,
yeah.
professionally, you're not Tony Odili.
Come again?
Professionally, you are known as Tony Odili. After all, you are known
Yeah.
as Odili Ujubuonu. Why are you using two names?
Okay. Okay. Let me put it this way. I have an emotional attachment to my my English name, not because it is English, but it's because the patron saint, you know,
Anthony
named
Padua.
after me was named after me because I was born on 13th of June. So 13th of
Okay.
June is St. Anthony's Day, so it's easier for me to connect, So earlier in life, I didn't know I was going to be a writer, but I knew I was going to be an advertising person, even when I was in the university. So in advertising, I was known as Tony, by my friends and everybody else. But then my family, of course, they knew me as Odili. So when I started writing, and shaping my worldview and everything, I decided to drop the English name and use my Igbo name. However, I was writing and at the same time I was still practicing advertising. So I had no other way but to use both names so that my those who have always known me in advertising will still uh, call me Tony and feel fine. And then my friends in the art world still call me Odili. So that's it.